I should like to draw your attention particularly to paragraph 91 of this year's report, where we specify the various types of violation of human rights. We are given them, listed them in the order as follows: the expulsion of persons from the occupied territories under so-called deportation orders, the transfer of several thousand persons from their homes to other parts of the occupied territory, expropriation of property, including property belonging to persons transferred from their homes, sometimes with, maybe with offers of compensation, which really cannot be treated as genuine compensation for the loss of one's home and permanent associations. And most serious of all, perhaps, establishment of Israeli settlements in the occupied territory and the transfer of Israeli nationals to those settlements. These settlements, for the most part, begin by being paramilitary establishments, Nahal as they call them, and are later converted into civilian settlements or moshavim. If this policy is allowed to continue unquestioned and unchallenged, it will completely transform the physical character and the demographic composition of these occupied territories. And it will become a fait accompli and create a situation which would be irreversible. That, in the mind of the members of the Special Committee, is the most serious aspect of the problem. We also have found that other practices such as demolition of houses and administrative detention continue, and there is also the denial of the right to return to their homes of those who fled the occupied territories after June hostilities. We have drawn attention to the fact that the relevant Geneva Convention does give an occupying power the right to take certain measures in the interest of its security. But we have found that this provision, which was designed to be used in exceptional circumstances only, it has now been made almost a general rule of policy. I regret to say so, but it appears to anyone, and we are struck by that fact as a pretext for consolidating the occupation. We have been concerned very much, and I have no hesitation in disclosing our concern to the press at the apparent indifference of the international community to this question. And I say indifference because when I examine the voting, I see many countries abstaining on this issue, which affect very keen interest in humanitarian problems and their solution. We have also been rather concerned that the one real recommendation, one substantial, one positive recommendation that we made has not yet been pursued, and that is the adoption of something approximating to the protecting power formula, which to our mind is the best way, in fact the only way of protecting the human rights of the population of occupied territories, as long as this special committee which the United Nations set up is denied access to the occupied territories. One thing more I wish to make clear. It is often said by the man in the street that it is incredible that we can come to a positive conclusion, finding in regard to violations of human rights without visiting the territories. That is an argument that only a very simple mind can seriously urge, because the evidence we have before us consists almost entirely of reports appearing in the Israeli press and statements made by Israeli leaders. Nobody could say that they are biased against themselves or issuing false information. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, we regret very much that the protecting power formula has not been adopted. it is not only one country that is to blame, but all those concerned are responsible for taking some positive action to give effect to our recommendation. We still hope that the recommendation will be put into effect, and that we will thereby be relieved of a task that has proved a very severe strain on some of us.
What is the protecting power